fine. After one time, it was a real hot day, and she said to me, was in her front room, and she said, gosh, I'd like a drink of soda water. I said, you would? She said, I sure would. I said, okay, I'll go get you one. I went in the kitchen, I took a cold glass of water, filled it up, and put 2 teaspoons of soda out of a teaspoon of soda out of the soda box. And I stirred it all up real good and let the bubbling go down, and I took it into her, and I said, now here's your good cold drink of water, drink that. And she took one big drink and started sputtering. She said, great Scott, what did you put in this water? I said, you asked for soda water? You got soda water. She says, I meant pop that you drink. I said, you didn't say pop. You said soda water, so you got soda water. I did things like that to Anthony all the time. I loved them, but I still did those things to them. We just had a ball. Okay, after Virgil and I was married, I'll go back to that before I forget my train of thoughts. We went out to herd sheep because he didn't have a job, and we lived in sheep camp, and we was herding sheep out east of Rigby, south and east of Rigby. And we had a very, very good watchdog that was a very good sheepdog. And I got kind of bored, and I said to Virgil, let's walk in to a show. And he said, well, you can't leave these sheep. And I said, yes, we can. We can get them around that big straw stack, and we can walk in and see a show. Now at that time, you could take $1 and both of you go to a show and get you a hamburger and a drink and a malt. And I said, we can spare $1 and go do that. He says, well, we got to walk about 2 or 3 miles. And I said, I know, but I can walk it, let's go. So we went to the show. Now I had an awful habit of taking off my shoes. And I took off my shoes. Somebody come in, and there went my shoe down there. We had to stay till the show ended so Virgil could find my shoe. And I didn't take my shoes off in the theater anymore after that. But we got back to the sheep camp, and everything was all well, so things worked out fine. We stayed there till it got too cold to be in the sheep camp, so then we moved back to a little house that was north of Robertson. Virgil's sister, Lila and Faye Christensen, lived in 2 rooms in the front, and we lived in 2 rooms in the back. And but it was we lived there until and then in 1938, Opal, I said to Anton, Opal, will you take us down to the Salt Lake Temple so we can be married in the temple? And this was in November, and she said, well, yeah, I guess I can do. So as we were going down through Pocatello, somehow or the other, the roads were real slick, and the car made a complete switch around when we were going from the south to the north. She said, gosh, Ruth, do you think I ought to go on, or should we go home? I said, good heck's sakes, after we come this far, we might as well go the rest of the way. You probably won't hit another slick spot. Now, they told us that we couldn't go over Malad Pass because, for some uncertain reason, so we went down through Sardine Canyon. And let me tell you, the weather was terrible, and the Lord was sure with us, because that was one ride that I don't ever want to ever go through again, down through that Sardine Canyon. Well, we got down to the temple, and Virgil and I were sealed for time and all eternity on the 15th of November, 1938. I said, I'm not going to be sealed on my birthday, because when I want a birthday present, and I want a wedding present, an anniversary present, and I don't want them on the same day. Okay, we lived there until February of 1939. In February, Virgil had a stroke, and I got help from Anthony Opal, and they took him to Idaho Falls Hospital. The stroke paralyzed him right straight down the middle, and it even paralyzed his speech, and the only thing he could do was just lay there and watch you with his eyes. But before all this happened, Virgil said to me one night, he said, now if anything ever happens to me, I want you to go to Cleo, because Cleo will be there to help you. And I said, well, why are you talking things like that? And he says, well, I just want you to do that. Well, We were only married just 5 months, because on the 26th of February 1939, why Virgil was called to his heavenly home. When we went to we were at home on a Sunday morning, that Sunday, eating our breakfast, and the phone rang. It was a hospital, and they called and told us we better come in. And we went in, and Cleo had stayed all night with Virgil. In fact, he'd stayed all night with him all the time he was in the hospital, and he was only in there. I think he was in there for 2 days. But he never left the hospital. He never left the hospital at all. He stayed with him day and night. And when I got into the room, I went over and took Virgil's hand, and he looked up at me, and these were the words he said to me. He said, "I love you." And that's the first time the only words he'd said after he'd had that stroke. And then the nurse took me out of, Atha took me out of the room, and we just got on the outside of the door when the light started blinking, and then Virgil passed away. And then Ruth passed out. I fainted, and when I come to, I was laying on a couch, and then they took me home, and then 4 months later I found out I was pregnant with Frank. And the people in Roberts were so very, very good to me. They did so many nice things for me and everything. And they had a big shower for me, and I never had to buy anything for the baby, but it was kind of funny. I never had to wear any maternity clothes either, because I was so tall, and I just didn't gain any weight. And and when I found out I was going to have a baby, I did go back to Twilla for a month with the folks, but everything had changed. And at that time, Elmer Searles wasn't married, and he told me that if he'd like us to get married, that he still loved me, and he would raise the baby as his. But somehow or the other, I didn't have that kind of love for him, and I told him, I said, "Well, now, Elmer, I've been married in the temple," and he said, "Yeah, I know." He said, "But we can go, and I'll take out my endowments, and I'll still raise a baby." And I said, "Elmer, you need someone that can love you. I don't have that kind of love for you anymore." And he felt bad, and so did I, but then that's the way it went. So I went back to Roberts, and I lived with Athenopa for a while, and I used to take long walks, and one night I walked to the river bridge, and I thought, what in the world am I ever going to do? Me, here with as young as I am with a baby, and I have nothing to support it or anything. I have a high school education, but that's it. And that swirling water and everything kind of made me kind of dizzy, and one of the fellows that lived in Roberts was coming from Rigby and saw me at the bridge, and he asked me if I wanted to ride back to Roberts, and I said no. So he went back to the store and told Opal I was over on the river bridge, Roberts River Bridge, and he thought that he better go, so Opal come over, and he put his arm around me, and he said, how did you get over here? And I said, "I walked." He said, "What are you planning on doing?" And I said, "Oh, well, what have I got to live for?" He said, "Ruth, you have a baby coming." And he said, "You don't want to do away with your life now." He said, "You're young. If things will work out for you." And I said, "Oh, I can't see it." And he said, "Come on, get in the car." And I went and got in his car, and he took me home. And I did a lot of crying that night. And after I went to bed, I hadn't been to sleep very long, and it was like someone was in the room there. And I opened my eyes, turned over to open my eyes, and there was Virgil standing in the doorway. And he said, "I want you to take care of that baby, and I want you to take care of yourself." And he said, "And I want you to know that I'll be there when that baby's born." And I thought, oh, gee, this has got to be a dream. But I was wide awake. I knew it wasn't a dream. And so then finally I drifted off to sleep, and the next morning I told Atha and Opal, and Opal says, "I don't think you were dreaming, dear." He said, "I think the he'd come to tell you that he'd be there with you.